lot weighs on the outcome of the conference tournaments this week, Steve. The Big Ten tournament, the ACC tournament, the SEC tournament. A lot of things yet to be decided for the committee as they rank before Selection Sunday. What do you think? So his wife is guffawing at the idea of a night out because the night out consists of these monkeys lobbing formed feces at each other.
Hot, steamy poop.
And then there could be some hoo-hoos. Ha-ha. Yep. And then another mound of feces.
Yeah.
It goes from the left to the right of the stage, and the crowd roars with approval. Apparently, this is now an Old West bit.
Yeah.
It's a, fast five. 5 bullets in a 6-shooter.
Yep, that's what they would do. I mean, save one for the Holy Ghost later. A lot to unpackage there.
Yeah, a little peek at the Fast Five if you're not tuning in every week. That's the hijinks we get into before we start diving right into the Fast Five. That's right. Why there would be 5 bullets in a 6-shooter. And if I'm not mistaken, somebody tweeted at us this week in the last few days, Steve, to say that was correct.
Really?
Obviously not because they were leaving room for the Holy Ghost.
I don't know. I mean,
but I honestly
prove it to me otherwise.
It's a bygone era. Prove me wrong. But because there was fear that if they had a 6th bullet in the chamber, that they would then it would more likely that they could shoot themselves.
Well, yeah. I mean, but then why didn't they just have 4 or 3 or 2? Because every bullet that's in there increases the chance that the gun will fire.
This is from my friend Brendan. Believe it or not, you are correct. It was / is a common practice to carry a single...
First of all, believe it or not, you are correct.
Yeah, you know
it's
what?
Awfully smarmy.
Now that I read that, Brendan, it should be, boy, you guys got another thing right. Not a believe it or not. This isn't a Ripley's episode.
It should be, well, not surprisingly, you nailed it again.
Yeah. It was / is a common practice to carry a single-action revolver on an empty chamber. So you would have 5, but the only one that would be empty would be, like, while you're carrying it, so the one in the chamber would be empty, because if it were to accidentally pull the trigger...
Yeah.
So
it seems pointless then.
I feel like I want to go back and watch, like, Deadwood now, though, because did they always have to... Oh, God, and here we go with my ignorance about guns. Would you have to pull the hammer to load the next...
I don't know. I don't know.
Do we need a gun guy?
Nah.
I don't know what else we'd ever ask him.
Yeah.
Like, hey, did you hear this? Yep. All right, have a good week.
I mean, we know plenty of people. I know plenty of people that own guns.
Oh, sure.
This should not be a difficult question to, mystery to solve.
Now, the hammer's the back one, right?
Yeah, that's the...
Yeah, that's the apostrophe on the gun.
Yeah, it's kind of...
if the gun were a word, that's the apostrophe.
It's the apostrophe, yeah.
Oh, boy.
It's possessive, though, because there's no S at the end.
No S. This is a... What a dumb way to look at weapons.
Well, there's the poll for this week. Is the hammer...
Is the hammer the apostrophe?
On the gun.
On the gun.
Yeah.
And as we found out, Steve, you will have to post that on Facebook, as apparently...
Sure.
Something has happened to where I am just blocked from posting polls on our own Facebook page. Facebook help. Sent them a message, or Facebook support. You'll be surprised to find out. No message back.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
So
is the hammer
on a gun?
No, I got it right here. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm already posting it.
Wow.
I'll even take care of Twitter for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look,
boy. At some point, I'm just going to be the hunk over here. Nothing else to do.
Look, in these trying times that we're in right now, we have to band together to post our useless polls on social media.
Speaking of useless polls, Steve, while you posted that newest one for us, left a lot of people confused last week. It was kind of like
why? I can't imagine why.
It was the proverbial carrot dangling, if you will, because typically they won't make any sense. And I understand that. But a lot of times you can kind of contextualize what we could be talking about, like, oh, Steve's neighbor, whatever. And you'll be able to tie it together when you hear the episode after it's released on Tuesday. Well, this one we pulled, honestly, it's probably fair to call it a bait and switch. Because you needed to tune in to the Fast Five.
Oh, yeah.
This week to have any idea what I'm comfortable calling the most inane poll we've ever posted could possibly mean.
What was the wording on it?
So, to recap the numbers, Mars. Space couch?
Now, before I posted that, because you had posted it on Twitter, I was going to post it on Facebook, and I said, we need to have more context here. Like, we need to give context.
Yeah.
But then we just decided,
Nah.
no. So, is Mars a space couch?
Well, I would argue that the confusion was reflected in the vote totals. Whereas usually
was it 50-50?
Whereas usually we do over 200 to 250 votes between the two platforms. This
we
time
got like 5.
This time we just scraped over 100. And by a final tally, Steve, of 64% to 36%, Mars is indeed a space couch.
All right. Good job, everybody.
Now, if I were to ask you, because we have a problem between the two of us, typically, remembering what we've done 10 minutes ago, let alone a week ago. If I were to ask you what that's about, would you know?
I do know.
You remember.
I do. Do you?
Nope.
It was...
was it about the guy who fell on his face when he jumped in his steam rocket? And
No. It was not about Mad Mike Hughes, who, while trying to prove that the Earth was flat, he became flat himself. No, it was not about Mad Mike Hughes. It was about that new super high-resolution photo of the surface of Mars.
God, that's right, that snooze.
And I believe that you said that it's as interesting as if we took a super high-resolution photo of my couch. And then it was deemed that Mars was simply a space couch.
Boy, and I stand by it. What a stupid thing.
I'm coming around because there's nothing. Now, if we had seen that picture of Mars, and there's jungles and elephants roaming and
or even a trickle of water
interesting, something interesting, but it's just a desert. It's a space desert.
It's just red dirt. You and I could drive 30 minutes to the lake shore of beautiful Lake Michigan, take a picture of a beach, and then just throw a red filter on it.
Yeah.
And it would be the same thing.
Hey, look, we're on Mars.
Yeah. Don't the new iPhones claim they have like 1 million pixels or some stupid number?
Oh, we can take Mars photos.
Okay, good. Yeah, so what is this? Did they just strap an iPhone on a rover?
Pretty much.
And then they just had the rover send the iPhone back to the planet?
iMessage. They just...
shoot one here?
Yep, send the message
back.
It's
closer to the satellites. It should get here quick then, right?
True. Yeah, very true. All true.
Man. It
is Sunday, March 15th, 2020, the year of our Lord. It's the Steve and Kyle podcast, the COVID-19 spectacular episode.
Yeah, it's the CoronaCast?
CoronaCast, I guess we could call it. These are weird times we're living in. We are, I don't want to say breaking quarantine, because we're not under a quarantine, but we
not
are...
officially.
We are still practicing our social distancing. You are on one end of the room. I am all the way on the other end. What do you say? Yeah. There's 25 feet in between us?
25 feet. And I'm not realizing this is the way we should have been doing the podcast forever.
I'm thinking it's not enough. I can back up a few more feet.
I'm facing the wall, and I think if we can get a door between us, that might be the best case scenario.
We could try the complete remote broadcast for both of us, where you're at your house, I'm at my house. We figure out some kind of...
I was going to say, is there any way we could keep up this high-level audio quality that our listeners have come to expect? while doing this remotely because I fear the progression. And again, I say this for Sports Tate as well, and I think we can kind of agree on it is here. While we talk about what's going on in the world, this isn't a super topical podcast. We're not talking about the news of yesterday and today, and that's that keeps these episodes quite evergreen and relevant if you're listening to them now or in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, when you have something like this going on, it doesn't simply consume the news cycle. It consumes every cycle. Like, it consumes what you talk about with your family, with your friends. It is the only thing on the front of everybody's mind, and it's hard to just say, hey, we're not going to talk extensively about that. Now we're not going to get into the nitty-gritty of it and debate things about it because, honestly, this is about an hour or so a week where if you want to, you can kind of get away from the idea of just tracking new cases of this and following it spread around the globe. So we will try to keep it to a minimum. But yeah, this is, I would argue that this is, and this is the biggest news of my lifetime. The biggest event of our lifetime. Now that includes a 9/11.
Oh, wow.
That includes, think about it. I mean, anything really in the last 20, 30 years, just based on...
Yeah, I don't know if I'd put it ahead of 9/11 just yet.
I just think...
I mean, obviously, in terms of the impact, the amount of people who have died, yes, but I don't know. It's on a... Yeah, those are on different... It's on a different level.
It's a total... In trying to not walk it back, but it is some false equivalency there of me trying to compare two... No other way to put it, disastrous events.
Yeah.
I mean, but I have a feeling if you went to Spain and Portugal, they don't care one iota as much about what happened on 9/11 as obviously anybody here does.
Yeah, of course.
And to flip the coin, I kind of have a feeling that here, well, I don't even need to this country is definitely not to the point where a lot of European, Middle Eastern, and Asian countries are in dealing with this pandemic and dealing with the fallout. As you see lines outside of bars in college towns, as you see, all of these massive gatherings literally directly against the suggested way to live for the foreseeable future. So
yeah, it's very frustrating to go on social media and see so many people saying this is an overreaction. I don't know. Look, I'm not a medical professional in any way.
Right.
It may be an overreaction, but who am I to be the one to determine that?
It's probably better to overreact than underreact in this case. And, I was texting my friend last night. My wife and my buddy who's home and I went out to eat and had a drink on Friday night. And I said, are we bad people? I know. Have we done this wrong, And
I find myself, because a friend of mine posted some pictures from the weekend about they were out for a birthday celebration or something, and it was weird because normally that is a completely run-of-the-mill Facebook post. You see 100 of them a day. Oh, here we are at the restaurant. Happy birthday to so-and-so. But I found myself looking at it being like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's so crazy because I was at a Starbucks yesterday. I was at a McDonald's yesterday. I drove my mom halfway back to New Jersey yesterday because she was so nervous about getting on the plane. She had a flight to fly home yesterday.
Yeah.
And ended up canceling it. Was just
too nervous
to get on, which I get.
I don't blame her at all.
She is in the my mom is in her 70s, so she is in the higher risk grouping.
Yeah.
Me, I probably would have gotten on the plane. I wouldn't. I would have thought twice about it. I would have brought my Clorox wipes and wiped everything down.
Right.
I don't know if I would have done a mask, but I ended up driving her to Austintown, Ohio yesterday, and my brother met me halfway. We left here at 6 a.m. We got there at 11:30. My brother met us, drove her the rest of the way back to New Jersey. Like that. To me, I wonder how Well, on the drive back yesterday, I was thinking 10 years from now, I'm going to look back on this, but I wonder how I'm going to remember it. Am I going to think about it like, man, that was a smart thing that you did there? Or is it going to be like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of? Like are we going to look back on this and like I'll have the same reaction to when we think back to Y2K, where everyone just laughs at it now, which is stupid because Y2K was there was an actual reason to fear that things were going to go wrong, but because of the massive amounts of preparation that they did in the years leading up to it, nothing really happened. A couple computers glitched.
Yeah. And I feel like this, it can't be dismissed in any regard. There's been deaths associated to this, and that number isn't going to go down, obviously.
Right.
And it's not going to stay stagnant. It's only going to go up. So the best way to spend your what's supposed to be self-imposed quarantine is by obviously listening back to all of your favorite episodes of the Steve and Kyle podcast that have come your way in the nearly 4 years we have been doing this.
Yeah, yeah.
You should track those down, listen back, relive the laughter, relive the joy of when we moved into APS 2.0.
Yeah, and quickly the sadness when we moved out of APS 2.0.
So, yeah, and to lighten it up a little bit, Steve, I need your help today.
Well, I do need, before we change the subject.
Yeah.
And now, a couple of weeks ago, you talked about how you were nervous.
Yeah.
This was freaking you out.
Yep.
Where are you now? On that scale of 1 to 10, 1 being don't care at all, 10 being ready to like bolt your doors shut, not let anyone in, never see the light of day.
I'm an 8.
I don't blame you one bit because I think I would be about I'm not an 8. Not a 6 though. I think I'm a solid. I think I'm a solid 7.
Where are you trending though?
Oh, trending towards 8.
You're still trending upward right now. Okay.
How are things looking up at 8? You got a good view from up there?
Well, you've got hair to worry about. that concern left me long ago.
Okay.
So
maybe if I skip past you and get to 9, I can look down and let you know. Like, hey, you gotta. Looks like getting a little sparse in the back there.
Here's what might happen: if you skip 8 and jump right to 9, it might just shock it more gray.
Really?
Yeah. So you can officially pull off the legitimate Pauly Walnuts.
Oh, nice.
And go silver streak down the side over the years.
All right.
Do you have handy, Steve? By the way, as you mentioned my fear I mentioned a couple of weeks ago.
I also need to know where your wife is at. Your wife, the medical professional, deals with a...
When I talk to her, a 3.
Really?
It's insane
in
to me.
In the emergency room every day, seeing the worst of the worst. I guess that makes sense.
But she hasn't been... flippant is not the word. That's not what she is. So calm. And collected in the face of this,
That's good, because
she's aware. She knows what it is. I don't know if she knew what was coming in terms of the scale that this is going to be.
Do you think she's sandbagging? Do you think that she's just putting on a happy face and inside she's freaking out, but knows if she freaks out, you'll start digging your bunker in the backyard?
Yeah, that's fine. Just keep that up, please, because that's accurate.
Okay.
That's accurate, and it'll be 3 weeks, and I'll just have a 4-foot hole big enough for one person to lay flat down in. It's like a tube.
Yeah.
And then I'll just stop because obviously that's a lot of work.
By the way, early results, 69% say yes, the hammer is the apostrophe of the gun. And now one comment from Mike Mokris saying, oh man, gonna be a good one this week.
It is like reading a fortune and just knowing, yep, we got a lot of good content coming up.
We got a winner.
You mentioned my fear a couple of weeks ago, though, Steve, and it's still amazing to me. I never want this piece of audio to go away because just 1 week before that episode I came in and I told you that I had hit the panic button
Yeah.
And I said, we need to go by non-perishables. We need to be prepared.
Mm-hmm. You got your toilet paper?
I think we're okay. I haven't looked. I think we're fine.
Yeah.
I made what is not going to go down in the pantheon of just this podcast, but what may go down in history.
Oh, boy.
As one of the worst predictions known to man. And it was when, during our very last Fast 5 episode, you mentioned, as one of the 5, coronavirus.
Yeah. Obviously, it was it's the big story. It's the story dominating the news.
I couldn't have dismissed it more quickly. Do you have that audio handy that I sent?
I don't think so. I don't think I saved it.
Let me resend it to you. I still have it. I believe I still have it in the email. Because I don't want this stink to wash away.
You need people to know how bad you were at predicting things.
Yeah, this needs to be on the soundboard for years to come, assuming we all make it through this. This needs to be played anytime I come out with this
with a huge prediction.
Yeah, with this firm, hey, I'm right, you're wrong. And I never need it to go away. Here, as I'm forwarding it to you, Steve. Here, hang on. All right.
Okay.
Sending that. Should have a couple of pieces of audio. Obviously, we only need the one.
Sure.
On there.
Let me just do a quick refresh. I got nothing yet. Oh, boy. Coronavirus has affected the computers now.
But in terms of comparing this, like you mentioned Y2K, I don't remember a global worry to this degree. I don't remember, and granted, it was a different age for me during the SARS issue.
Yeah.
I believe the avian flu was kind of given the old hand wave, if you will, like not a big deal.
Yep. There was
the swine flu got more attention, but overall that was still somewhat dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
This here, though, has been unprecedented measures, and I think that's what gives people pause when they're looking at it. Yet still, somehow today, there's two sides to all of this, where somehow people are looking at what the Centers for Disease Control and the World Health Organization are saying and saying that's a lie.
Yeah, and I don't understand that. I don't
want to dig too deep into it, because in no way is this a political issue.
No.
Or should it be?
No.
This is simply a medical issue that needs to be handled as such. Yet, of course, here we are, 2020, nearing a general election in the United States. It's politicized to the nth degree, and everybody's mad at each other again about the way it's been handled.
Here's your take on coronavirus.
Oh, yeah.
Guess we just talked about that. Number 2, coronavirus.
Yeah, where are we at with that?
Are you scared about it?
Nah.
75,000 reported cases.
Our doctors are smarter.
Smarter? Like, you're just not concerned at all?
Nah.
Boy, that was such a strange turnaround from the week before when you were scared.
No, that was the week before.
Oh, that was
scared.
the week before. Okay. I thought you would waffled a bit.
No, man, it turned on a dime.
Okay. I saw a post.
Eesh.
I saw a post by a friend of mine, and it really put into perspective how things work now. He said, "Here's how it goes. The media reports timely and important information on COVID-19 and advice on how to slow its spreading. Number 2, the increased public awareness actually works, and the common sense recommendations like hand washing help slow the spread of the virus to the point that the public health officials and medical professionals are able to get a handle on it. Mm-hmm. Number 3, the slowing of the virus is used as evidence that the virus was nothing to worry about, and that the media, and then the media is blamed for creating a panic." And it couldn't be more true. And now, granted, I work in, using heavy air quotes, the media.
Are you journalizing over there?
Yeah. And there's nothing that I hate more than to see people just blame the media. Oh, it's the media that's publicizing it. It's the media that's causing the panic. That's so damn frustrating. Because the media is reporting. Now, granted, I'm sure that there are some media sources that blow it out of proportion. There are always going to be the ones on the fringe ones that are going to make a mountain out of a molehill. But it's not the media's fault that people are buying thousands of rolls of toilet paper.
Right.
The media didn't say, you provide me with the TV news station that said, stop what you're doing, go and buy all the toilet paper. Okay, then I'll give you credit. Then it was the media.
Find me the story, though, like you said.
Right. It's the, they're reporting on, hey, there's X amount of deaths now, and officials recommend that you do this.
Yeah.
So do that.
Yep.
And I think that for the majority of people, somewhat level-headed people, I think I'm a level-headed person. I think you're a level-headed person.
Yeah.
You probably watch the news and say, all right, well, we've got to do a social distancing, whatever you want to call it, self-quarantine.
Which is why we're 25 feet across the room from each other. I'm facing a wall. That's by choice.
But there are those people out there that are going to hear that and think, it's the end of days, run out, buy everything off of the shelves.
Load up.
Can you blame the media for that? I mean, would you? Because there's no... You either report on it or you don't. And if you don't report on it, I think that's pretty irresponsible.
Sure.
But yeah, it just drives me nuts, man. I had posted on Twitter the other day. I was walking through the hardware store just picking something up. These two old dudes there, just it's completely overblown. It's no big deal. Who are you? I mean, you may be a well-experienced health professional.
Right.
But you're probably not.
It's unlikely. It seems unlikely. So, yeah, I've never been closer. I said it the other day to my wife, and I might just delete social media for now.
I feel like you should, because I saw a rabbit hole.
Me nuts.
I was alerted by my brother about how he was enjoying your trolling.
I can't, and it's not even trolling. At this point, it's legitimate arguing.
It is.
It's legitimate. Trolling is me,
right,
setting a bait trap and watching idiots try to step into it or try to avoid it. This is me being legitimately upset as someone with a young son and a wife who works on the front lines of if she were to encounter this.
Yeah.
So to see the dismissive attitudes of people, and like you just talked about, the blaming of entities that have nothing to do with this outside of report, and reading and seeing comments like, oh, we get it, it's here. What do you shut up about it? What do you mean?
Just tell me about the game last night.
Yeah, what game, idiots? Because it's all shut down. This is unprecedented. This is literally the only thing to report on. I'm sorry, you're not going to get the kicker at the end of the newscast right now about the dog who found his way home.
Right. The squirrely water skis.
It's just not happening right now. And it's so weird. So it makes me mad. And I'm to the point where I want to, I need to do it. Mm-hmm. But right now it's NFL free agency starts this week. So.
Yeah. I mean, the big story, Tommy Touchdown. Where is he going to go?
Exactly.
Has anybody ever called him Tommy Touchdown?
There's in no chance, in no universe, has anybody referred to quarterback Tom Brady as Tommy Touchdown. And the more I think about it,
it's a great name. The guy throws a lot of touchdowns.
Let me Google it, because maybe I am familiar, Steve, with one touchdown Tommy, and I mean that legitimately. And it was touchdown Tommy Vardell, who was a running back in the NFL.
Yeah, but that's touchdown Tommy. This is
Tommy Touchdown.
This is Tommy Touchdown.
How could I mix those up? Tommy Touchdown Tommy. Touchdown Tommy was also in Rugrats.
Do we put this on the poll this week? Has Tom Brady ever been referred to as Tommy Touchdown?
I don't even think we say Tom Brady. I just think we say, has he ever been referred to?
No, we got to at least say Tom Brady.
So has Tom Brady?
Yeah, don't worry. It has Tom Brady. Guillermo's putting it on the poll right now.
Just give me a camera to smile in during this. You know?
Yes, Tommy touchdown.
But, Steve, I'm glad we're still on this topic somewhat because I do have a few questions for you. Well, I phrased that wrong. I need your help.
Okay.
In regards to...
I'm here, man.
This coronavirus, this COVID-19. And,
okay.
I didn't know... well, here, before I even get into that, I just mentioned COVID-19. My wife laughed in my face yesterday.
Oh, boy.
When we were talking about...
Very rude.
What everybody's talking about with this virus. And I didn't know if it's COVID or just calling it the coronavirus. I still feel like... And I'm talking to a medical professional, so I don't want to call it coronavirus because I don't want her to correct me and say, well, you know, coronavirus is just this. This is just a strain of the... So I don't want that.
Right.
I can refer to
Do you have to
it.
Deal with that? Like, does that happen a lot?
No, but
do you guys
in this
correct
case,
each other in, like, demeaning manners?
Yes. In this case, I didn't want to be the fool.
So if she said, like, hey, I downloaded the wave of your podcast yesterday, and it's pretty funny. You go, actually, it's an MP3.
MP3, just read the format.
Come on, like 64 kilobits per second.
Happens all the time. I mean,
duh.
She's asking my friend who likes to sports gamble a lot. Again, just my friend, and
right, yeah.
She says, "Well, you know, New York's minus 5.5, so that means they need to lose by 5." I said, "You stupid idiot! No, they need to win by 6 or more for it to count." My friend said that.
Uh-huh.
I said, "Hey, don't talk to her that way."
Hey.
No.
Not cool.
My first question I have for you is, I have another sports take coming out this week. Don't know what the hell it's going to be about. There's no sports.
Wait, was that some breaking news that you just gave us?
About sports take?
Yeah.
No, every 2 weeks. I've never missed one.
Right, but I mean, normally you don't announce it on this podcast.
Well, I'm just trying to get some extra coverage. Live from the Steve and Kyle news desk, a new sports take coming your way this Friday morning on your regular podcast. Come on!
Oh.
I think that was the one I just got. Obviously, I got a little wordy at the end. If I had just cut it off.
Right, yeah, that's never happened before.
I just feel like I need a timer.
But what do you need my advice on?
Well,
how
Steve,
do you need me? How can I help you?
Well, Steve, we're coming up. It's coming up fast. Hot take summer. It's almost here.
Oh, HDS is almost back, huh?
So I'm running into a bit of a problem with the virus issue.
Okay. There's not going to be a take to be had.
That's also a concern. Right now, there's 2 camps.
By the way, where do we stand on our live show in July? Is that being...
Oh, that's a go.
Is it okay?
We're not worried about 250 people.
True.
And we'll be fine.
Okay.
That's far enough down the road, right?
Good. Yeah, this will be the audio that the news station plays a couple months from now.
We're going to be the ones who reignite.
Yep.
The spread.
Yeah, a small pocket of coronavirus.
Local idiot
reemerged in West Michigan after being on the run for 2 months.
A local idiot spreads virus after visiting stupid podcast in a barn. And then I wonder, I don't know why the news is so mean to us. It feels extra rude.
Yeah, at least use our logo and our name.
Oh, God, don't use that logo.
4-year anniversary of that logo coming up.
Oh, God. Delete it on the 1 year 51 week or 3 year 51 week anniversary. Just put in a new one without it saying anything. So we're entrenched in 2 camps right now in the world and on the internet and everything. Whereas one group appears to be saying this is the cold, quit whining.
Mm-hmm.
The other group is saying lock your doors, buy all the toilet paper, and get a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire.
Yeah. Boy, that sucks because I don't really fall into either of those groups.
And here's where I come to you. And I'm going to give you some time to think about it.
Okay.
I need a lane. Right now, the 2 lanes on the highway are jam-packed. I need the HOV lane.
Uh-huh.
I need to carve out
You need to have
my own lane.
You need a blow-up doll in your front seat.
Yep.
So you can cruise right on through.
I need a hot take that I can carry about this virus that sets me apart from the pack.
Oh, okay. So you don't want to be in one of those two lanes.
No, because it's snooze. Everybody's there. Everybody's there, and everybody's angry at the other group. So I need the group. It doesn't have to be in between those two. It can be like I'm traveling the wrong way down that 2-lane highway.
How about the... now, I've heard this from a couple of small circles of people. How about you go the COVID-19 as a biochemical weapon created by North Korea?
I feel like that's too
too mainstream?
I feel like that's too mainstream right now.
Even the crazy is mainstream these days.
No, I've got a couple of a couple of suggestions from friends and coworkers. One is that it was created by the toilet paper companies.
Okay. Oh, I got one.
Okay.
And it'll tie in beautifully to Sports Tate.
Yes.
COVID-19, the coronavirus, was created by Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred.
Whoa.
To distract the world
from the
Houston Astros cheating scandal.
Okay.
I mean,
boy.
That's got to be...
Now, can we find even a loose connection for Rob Manfred in a medical field?
Oh, I'm sure. I bet somebody he knows is a doctor. That's all it takes.
Boy, I'm good with that. We just need Manfred to know a doctor. Yeah. You know what? I'm good enough with even saying he needs to know a dentist.
Maybe a podiatrist.
So that's what I need to come out with.
There you go. That's it. You're welcome. I expect full credit on Sports State this week.
I will take your suggestions, listeners. Please send them to us on Twitter. What should Kyle's hot take lane be regarding the coronavirus? Just drop those to us so I can start claiming those as my own in public conversations.
Sure.
Saying, yeah, you might think it's bad, but you haven't talked about the Astros cheating scandal in a while. Because I had a suggestion earlier from somebody I know who said, well, you need to go the route of, coronavirus is bad, but you know what's really bad? Texting and driving.
I heard that kills more people every year.
Exactly.
Than the coronavirus.
But now that's become too commonplace. Not texting and driving per se, but the idea of,
distracted.
Yeah, well, what about obesity? Huh? That's killing hundreds of thousands every year. We don't care about that.
About heart disease. Huh?
And it's always...
My grandpa died of heart disease.
And it's always that way, too. It's always like guy in the back of a baseball theater or a back of a movie theater just yelling, wearing a baseball cap. Yeah? Yeah, what about car accidents, huh? We haven't fixed that yet. This ain't nothing. So even that has become too commonplace. Yep.
You want to be that guy.
No, I want to be that guy with a different take.
You want to be that guy.
With a more nuanced take.
Gotcha.
Again, I think on the texting and driving false equivalency front, I was probably 36 hours too late. Listen, this is how fast it's moving out there.
Yeah.
And lanes are being taken. This is the Atlanta highway system right now. And those lanes are getting chewed up. Mm-hmm. And I'm late.
And they're not building them fast enough.
No, they're not. The construction crews are quarantined.
Yeah.
They can't even build any more lanes.
No. That's the real sad thing about this whole coronavirus.
Yeah.
Is that the construction workers can't build more lanes.
Listen, I'm a hot take artist, and I'm about to be left in the dust.
Yeah.
All right? I've got other hot take specialists like Clay Travis, racist, on Twitter, dropping bombs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're a hot take volcano. Your magma's bubbling.
I can't bubble much longer.
But if you sit too long, your magma is going to harden.
Yeah.
And now you're going to be trapped inside of your own volcano.
Yeah, and then what am I? Mount St. Helens, poof.
Mount St. Helens was a pretty disastrous eruption.
Huh.
You could, I believe that they could see the clouds of ash on the East Coast.
Oh, no.
3,000 miles away.
Oh, no, it's cloudy.
I mean, you could have picked any other hill, not even a volcano. It would have been more appropriate than picking one of the greatest volcanic disasters.
Oh, look at it. It's a little dusty. Big deal.
Apologies to families of those affected by the Mount St.
Did people
Helens.
pass away from that? Did they die?
Yeah.
How? Did they drink the ash? What are you doing?
I think it did. Hold on. Of course, time out here. How many people died
I'm going to find out.
on Mount St.
I tell you, I'm seeing 0 deaths. I didn't search for that. I just searched for the Mount St. Helens. Wouldn't it be Mountain St. Helens?
57 people. 57 people died when Mount St. Helens erupted in Washington on May 18th, 1980 at 8:32 a.m.
Wow.
Autopsies showed that most of the people killed in the eruption likely died from asphyxiation after inhaling hot ash.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else do you want to say?
Can you quick find me a volcano that didn't hurt anyone when it went off?
I could try.
You're now the internet guy for me, so I can't even post Facebook polls anymore.
Volcanic eruption that didn't kill anyone. Mount Vesuvius. Mount Vesuvius didn't kill everyone in Pompeii. Okay.
Oh, good. Wow. Oh, boy, I'm glad I didn't jump on that one then, huh?
Yeah. The Armero tragedy. Well, saying tragedy makes me think somebody probably died. 8 missing after New Zealand. Okay, New Zealand volcano eruption kills 6. No.
It's a real Mount Eldfell from Iceland.
Mount Eldfell.
Mount Eldfell. Yeah, 1 person died. I'm okay with it.
Well, then, no, that violates the terms.
I mean, collateral damage here, you know?
Collateral damage?
What if the person died of like a heart attack because they were so shocked?
Well, I still think that that counts as a volcanic death.
Let me find what this person died of.
Do you think any other podcast laughs at death more than us?
It's not a great trait. It's not one of our best qualities. And in this case, I should definitely not have done it.
All right, Philip, the Stephen Kyle podcast, #1 for laughing at death shirt.
Ooh. Ooh.
I did talk to Philip a few times earlier in the week. Philip is working on a project for me, but I said to him, because he said, hey, looks like I'm going to be having a little bit of time off over these next couple of weeks.
Okay,
so if there's anything,
art world shutting down?
If there's anything that you want me to work on, let me know. And I said, well, funny you should say that, because we would still love, for this upcoming holiday season, we would love Seasonal Sammy and Scarecorn and Corn Man.
Yeah.
So I told him I would send him like as close as I can come to timestamps or at least episodes.
What I think I want more is Stephen Kyle's Nature Camp.
Oh my God, I forgot about Stephen Kyle's Nature Camp.
We need to pull all of this audio.
Yes. Well, it was all in the year in review, right? Pretty sure that was
I don't know if Nature Camp was.
How did Nature Camp not make it?
I don't even remember what Nature Camp was in relation to. Oh, it was about birding. It was when we were talking about your neighbor who bragged about being a birder.
That's right. And we were going to have... he was going to design a logo for Stephen Kyle Nature Camp.
Yeah.
That had, like, bullseyes and, like, bow and
well,
arrow.
the whole logo is through the binocular eyes. Yes. Yeah, no, it was pretty vivid. There's a lot going on, so we'll need to pull that up.
Oh, man. Make a note of that right now, so at the end of this episode, we can look it up and forward it to him.
Yeah, we're going to find all of this, so hopefully we can get...
God, I forgot about Stephen Kyle Nature Camp.
The Nature Camp was one of our best ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, not right now, because we literally can't have people... Well, no, we can have people out in nature, right?
Yeah.
Not in big groups, you know?
Yeah, nature's good. Nature's good. It's still good to go on walks. Just don't go on walks while you're holding hands with lots of people.
That's a weird way to walk. I mean, Hands Across America's canceled then?
Probably. Everything's canceled, man. Everything. 3 of the 4 major sports leagues just said, nah, let's just stop.
No, all of them did. Well, football...
but football is not in season. So
football is proposing to cancel... not cancel, but postpone their draft for a month.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a big extravaganza.
When is that?
It's usually end of April. They're going to at least bump it to the end of May.
All right.
UFC, only one not going on. Or that is going on. Apologies. Dana White very angrily said the shows will go on. We'll find different venues because every state is seemingly, saying no more gatherings of this or this. So he said last night when he was after another UFC event in Brazil, doesn't matter. These are taking place. We'll find a venue.
That seems really short-sighted, right?
Vince McMahon and WWE is the same way right now. They have not canceled WrestleMania, which is a gathering of legitimately 100,000 people in Tampa, Florida, at a football stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my theory on that, though, Steve, and I think I don't have any information to back it up, though, is that he needs the city to cancel it for an insurance check.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
And to me, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
This is a multi-million-dollar venture in terms of setup and everything else. So if you willingly cancel or postpone, insurance is going to say, sorry, you're out that cash. So those are the two that are going on, UFC and WWE.
Boy, that is crazy. Yeah, like we have, for the side gig, a ton of stuff. We're 2 weeks away from what is normally our
travel season.
It begins the 6 to 8 weeks where we're on the road the majority of the time for live shows.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. Although at this point, by the time this podcast comes out in a couple of days, stuff may have already been canceled. I'm assuming, I can only assume that stuff will be canceled.
Sure. There's simply no way. I mean, there's states that are not allowing you to gather.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, so people will be angry because that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
Please take into account, this is not the side gigs decision.
No.
Although the main podcast hasn't canceled their live event. But again, this is not the side gigs decision.
Right. Well, I don't know. I don't know. It might be.
Okay.
There might be instances where it is.
Well, but it's not like you're doing it willingly. It's not like you're saying, we don't want to go here or there. Screw that. Cancel it. That's not the point.
Yeah,
the point is any cancellation is not being made willingly because the side gig wants to do that.
Now, when I started seeing last week about how MLB shutting down, NHL shutting down, NBA shutting down,
sure,
I thought, okay, I can understand that because in some cases that's like 30,000 people in one room.
Yeah.
But then when I saw something that was a little bit more relatable to us was when Live Nation suspended all of their current tours. That's a little bit more relatable because a lot of the venues that we do shows in are the same ones that a smaller level concert for Live Nation would be in.
Right.
The places that hold 1,500 people or 500 people. Mm-hmm. So to me, that was a little bit more relevant to us. And I thought, oh boy, this is going to affect us. This is definitely going to affect us.
I had, and it felt weird to me, a local venue supposed to be at a concert Friday, which, as any parent knows, a night out like that takes some decent amount of planning.
Yeah.
Need babysitting, et cetera, et cetera. And I had messaged the venue on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, hi, I just wanted to check in to see if this show is still going on. I checked the event page. There was nothing posted. And obviously they had gotten this question regarding maybe not the show I was going to, but plenty of their other shows.
You get an auto reply or something?
Yeah, but it wasn't... I got the generic auto reply saying, we check our messages. Somebody will get back to you soon. And then about 15 minutes later, a long-form message, but it felt like a form message.
Like they probably typed it out once and they're copying and pasting it to everybody. Yeah, makes sense.
And it was, the show must go on. And I thought, well, this is weird. Now, I'm not to seem selfish.
Were they offering refunds?
No. Only if it's canceled.
Really?
So it's what I thought was weird because I'm in a stage now where I bought these tickets. I want to see this artist. It's being 100% recommended to not go.
Yeah.
But if I don't go, the tickets are just lost. So do I go? Do I try to pawn them off on someone? Whatever. Checked in the next day after the Live Nation made an announcement. And I don't know, Bob or Tom, if they're Live Nation or if they're whoever.
Sure, yeah.
That announcement didn't make any sense to me other than reading a list of artists who are Live Nation artists.
Because, yeah, exactly. There are Live Nation artists, but there are also Live Nation venues.
Right.
But just because the show is at a Live Nation venue doesn't mean it's a Live Nation show. Like, Live Nation is simply the promoter.
Yeah.
They are the ones promoting. They are the ones putting on the show.
Boy, like reading back their first long form message they sent to me, I didn't read it in full outside of the blurb I needed, which is, like I said, the show will go on. Mm-hmm. But they wrap up their message with, as a local venue, we feel responsible to continue bringing music to the community with caution, to offer an escape and bring joy, belonging...
Oh, shut up.
Joy, belonging, acceptance, and human connection.
Huh.
At a time when we feel it is most needed. Listen,
that is the one thing that they say is not needed.
And again, we're not healing from a terrorist attack like 9/11 where I need human connection.
Stop making yourself sound like you're healing the world.
Yeah.
Like you're simply the stage that the band is standing on.
Right.
That is it. You are no more than that.
In the middle of that message, I said, if anything is canceled, refunds will be issued accordingly. I'm not worried about that. If an event gets canceled, I'm aware refunds are coming. That's not my main concern here. So I said, thank you for your reply. 4 hours later, our friend Dave Kim tweeted a link regarding Live Nation tours being canceled. And again, I don't know up from down in that regard. So I messaged them again. Hi, has this changed with the recent Live Nation announcement? Most shows will go on as planned. Please be patient. If anything is canceled, refunds will be issued. I said, I'm well aware of your refund policy, I told them. I just simply need to know the plans regarding the show 24 hours away. And then, of course, I woke up Friday morning. I didn't get an email from the venue until day of the show at 1 p.m., even though I'd already checked the morning of to see the event. I think it was on Facebook, and they had changed the title to postponed. Which, okay. Very weird. I don't know why some venues and some things like this, like the UFC, like WWE, and I get it's, hey, money, money, money. But this weird refusal to do what is being recommended by everybody.
I would assume that what you said about WWE and about UFC is accurate. It's money. It's if the city or the whatever the area or the venue or whoever cancels, there's an insurance policy usually. So if they cancel,
has to be it.
They get paid.
Yeah.
Regardless. But if the UFC were to pull the plug, they don't get paid.
And now, let me check the time. Where are we at? Okay. One more question for you, Steve.
What do you got?
I don't know if you've noticed, but I've noticed because I notice these things. Is your email inbox this week?
I know exactly where you're going with this.
Been extra filled up? From anybody you've ever bought anything from?
Email list, like, I appreciate that Amazon is taking steps to protect me from COVID-19.
Sure.
But I also don't need to know about it.
But there's also some where, like listen, local steakhouse, you can do everything that you want to do. I get it. It's still the idea of the gathering, but I understand what you're doing in terms of sanitation and working in the food industry. But yeah, I get that.
I understand that. And, I take back what I said about Amazon. I do understand why Amazon would say that because they're in the business of providing me stuff. So if I order something, obviously there's someone at some point down the line who's going to reach into a bin, pull out the product I ordered, stuff it in an envelope, unless that's all completely automated now, which I don't know.
Yep.
But the thing that I find weird is the companies that don't sell anything tangible that I get these emails from. Netflix, I don't, you're just a content provider. I'm not going to get sick because of your app on my TV.
Which brings me to the one that made me roll my eyes so hard I thought I was going to fall off of the chair.
Do you think we should, by the way, should we send out an email?
Do we have a mailing list?
No.
Should we make a mailing list and then send out an announcement?
If you want to be on the Steve and Kyle mailing list.
Means we'd have to give out our email that we never do because it's ancient and nobody cares.
We do get emails to it every now and then because it must be listed somewhere.
But speaking of our email, we received an not a warning, but an announcement regarding COVID-19. From our podcast hosting provider, Libsyn.
Not to be confused with Lispin, which is the Livin' in Style podcast network.
Yep. Our own personal network of growing shows, which now contains this and Sports Date.
Yeah. Libsyn, Libsyn, I believe it's short for Liberated Syndication.
Yep.
That's what their company is.
Yep.
They are in the podcast hosting business. So when we record on a weekly basis, we take that file, we upload it to Libsyn.
Yep.
We tell it release on this day at this time, and boom, out into the world it goes.
They shoot it to Stitcher. They shoot it to everywhere you listen to this podcast. So maybe you can explain to me then why Lori-Ann Sims, the president of Libsyn, had to send an announcement regarding COVID-19 to its podcasters.
Yeah, that's weird. Again, not a tangible product.
Yeah.
It's not Domino's.
Do they just feel left out?
Honestly, I think that they feel they're getting all the emails too from all the companies that they've ever dealt with. So they probably think, oh, geez, well, if they're doing it.
Yeah, we got it too.
I bet that it was because one of the other podcast hosting services did it.
One of the big ones, maybe. Yeah. Podbean.
Right. Oh, Podomatic sent out the email. But we can't be late to the party on this.
And all of them have been the same that I've flipped through, which is essentially if I open one restaurant or whatever, I'm looking to see will be closed or whatever.
We've told our employees that if they are sick, do not come into work.
I'm more curious if you're shutting down or if you're staying open. And all of them have been not that. They're all the same. It's all, we're taking extra rigorous sanitation, means and cleaning rigorously every 2 hours, this and that. Okay, I get it. So what could a podcast host have to tell me about what they're doing to combat this? There's nothing. I'd personally like to assure you that we are committed to supporting you and your podcast during the virus. Okay, just make sure the switch is on and there's space for my file to be.
Can I email her and say, hey, Lori, the supermarket is all out of toilet paper and beef?
Hey, Lori-Ann, you got any ground beef? Preferably 94.6, but I'll take 80-20.
Yeah, I'm not going to be picky in this time of panic.
We will continue to provide reliable and robust podcast hosting services during these trying times.
I mean, I appreciate it.
I would expect. I don't want one from my, internet bank, saying, your website access will still work during these trying times. I would hope so. It's the internet.
Yeah. Now, I guess I understand it because behind all of that, not everything can be automated.
Sure.
I'm sure that there is some type of, when we upload our file every week, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't just. No, it has to.
It has to.
Yeah, there can't be somebody. But I mean, obviously, errors happen and problems arise. So we have to assume, we have to hope that the guy whose job it is to fix problems doesn't get sick.
Right.
But if he does, know that Lori-Ann is on it.
Libsyn is a prime work from home company, though.
Yeah, I guess other than the guy maintaining the server room.
Yeah, we're just hoping that a fire doesn't break out in the big bank of servers.
Is that one of the side effects from coronavirus? Spontaneous fires?
No, spontaneous combustion is a real problem. Well, keep the guy out of the server room then. We've got hours worth of content on here that have to be mined for generations to come.
Yep. Yeah.
Until we end this.
In 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Tops.
Well, it's good to know that there are people on the front lines protecting our podcast.
Yeah, protecting our podcast host. That's the one that stuck out to me because I get clothing companies who a lot of those clothes obviously are imported and made in China and those countries that are affected. And
anything that's tangible, I said. I mean, anything that someone has to touch.
Yeah,
I get it. Granted, I don't know how long the virus can remain active or before it just dies off. If I sneeze onto this table,
right? How long would it stay there?
How long? Yeah. like 6 hours from now, if you come back and touch the table and then, rub your eyes, are you going to get sick if I was sick in the first place?
Right.
I don't know.
Now, can we do what literally every local newscast has done in the last week? Multiple times a day. Can we get a local health professional on to, quote, answer all of your questions?
Dispel the myths.
And then we just have them on and ask the dumbest questions we can come up with.
Multi-step hypotheticals.
Now, let's say I'm walking by Steve, and we go for a high five, and I cough into his hand and mouth. Mm-hmm. How long does that stay, under his fingernails if he doesn't clip them?
Yeah, we're not talking just palms here.
That's the go-to, and again, I'm not going to dog local news. You're in a horrific
media, man.
spot.
It's the media.
Well, they're in a tough spot in terms of what to do right now.
Exactly, because half your people want to hear more about it, and half the people want to hear less about it.
I just think it's funny that
it's basically talking politics,
right? Yeah,
I mean, essentially, it's the same result. Half the people are pissed, half the people are happy.
The go-to has been just that, though, which is we're going to answer your questions. We're going to tell you what's true and what's not true regarding the virus. Like, all right, there's also 1 billion tools everywhere else that you can, read and follow up. I don't need, Linda H. Facebook messaging in a question regarding, I heard the flu vaccine stops it. Is that true?
We have our health correspondent, Dr. Chaz Laser, in studio.
Chaz, nice wig today. Or nice. Chaz, nice rug. Let's get right into it.
All right.
Oh, man.
Well,
I mean, that's been it. And again, I apologize. Hopefully, I'm not going to make a stone cold commitment, but I would argue next week this podcast will be somewhat more back to its normal idiocy.
Maybe.
Well, I think we'll still be doing it, right? Are you overly concerned? I mean, unless you get sick this week.
I don't know. I do feel different about people coming to my house now than I did a week ago.
I get it. Should we start exploring how an internet connection works to record
I think we
this?
could easily do that. We've had
it's going to sound like crap compared to what we're all so used to. They have the velvety tones.
Well,
we've had upgraded microphones.
Yeah, but I think we could make something work
because I've got my own microphone at home.
We basically just do a Skype call, a FaceTime call.
Ugh.
We can make it work.
How about this?
I think we should, just to show that we can.
How about we just script one out? And I'll record my parts. You record your parts. Mm-hmm. And hopefully, so, you'll say, Kyle, yeah. And then 2-second pause. And then I say another statement. So that way we don't have to chop anything. You can just overlay the 2 voice tracks.
I don't even think we have to do that. I have the perfect solution.
Okay.
We call each other on the phone.
Uh-huh.
So, I'll have my earbuds in so I can hear you.
Sure.
I'll be talking into my microphone.
Yeah.
You do the same thing on your end. So I'll only have my recording. You'll have your recording. And then, boop, piece it together. I kind of think we should try that.
I think we should try that, too. A 40-minute episode is going to take 3 hours. We can't even We can barely make a phone call out of this.
It wouldn't take any longer.
Listen, all I'm saying is tech-wise, Steve, you and I spent 30 minutes 2 weeks ago trying to figure out what cord was jostled loose.
There was that infamous time where we started recording like an hour and a half later than we normally do because we couldn't figure out how to split up a video into like 2 parts.
We couldn't send anything to Instagram. Nikki told us all you have to do is click on this on Twitter and it goes longer.
Oh.
We're terrible at this stuff.
Oh, boy.
I think we should look at live streaming right now.
We could do that.
I don't know how we do a 2-camera setup, and that is a terrible idea. I shouldn't have mentioned it. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, I wave at you across the room, 25 feet away.
Yes, sir.
Over my head, because again, I'm facing the wall.
Is that a red shirt you're wearing? Or a green shirt? I can't even tell.
Boy, that has more to do with color blindness than distance. You're going to want to get.
We are so far away from each other right now.
Social distance, everybody. Quarantine if you need be.
Yeah, do it. Just, look, don't, as I've heard a million people say, you may be able to handle it, your immune system may be able to handle it, but the person that you come in contact may have a compromised immune system. They may not be able to handle it.
Yeah.
Think of other people other than yourself for just once, for these next couple weeks. It's all right. You need some time to yourself anyway. You're out in the world.
Yeah.
There are too many people coming at you. Just, stick a sign on the front door that says, gone till May.
Yep.
Hang out, hang low, snuggle with your dog, eat an apple pie, do whatever you want.
Listen, what he's getting at is don't be a dick, all right? Stay home if you need to. Leave everybody alone. Stop it. Stop it.
I was trying to not be as abrasive.
Quit being a dick.
Thank you, Kyle, for those.
Oh, God, what are we going to dance around it for another half hour?
That's Dr. Chaz Laser, folks. Dr. Chaz Laser.
That's a great doctor name.
All right, we'll talk to you next week. Hopefully things will be somewhat more normal.
No chance. Only going to get worse.
All right.
Hunker down, everybody. Build those fear bunkers.